Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Tsague. I'm here with Wendie Klem, all the way from Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Tennessee. And Wendie's here because today we're going to talk about the 2023 International Business Plan Competition. Wendie actually has a client who was able to win the class competition, the center competition, the US competition, and they made it all the way to representing North America at the International Business Plan Competition. First of all, Wendie, congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you feel about having being the winnings coach this year for North America and having your client be at the competition this year?
Well, Patrice, it's really exciting. I had a lot of really amazing clients that I've worked with over the past year. And I like to say I'm thrilled never to be a judge at one of these things, to choose which one would represent, because there was some good entrepreneurs over the past year. But it is exciting to work with an entrepreneur and watch them grow. As you know, Patrice, it's just amazing to see an entrepreneur go from startup to profitability and working towards sustainability. And that's what I've gotten the pleasure of doing this last year.
Yeah, and we're going to get into a detail as well. So if you've not yet signed up for Nehemiah Week, I want you to right now go to nehemiahecommunity.com, nehemiahecommunity.com, and go to the events page, sign up for Nehemiah Week, and join us there. By the way, a little secret, if you come to our upcoming global forum, which is, I think, next week, and you can get a special price if you sign up for that global forum. So while you're there, check out the global forum, sign up for that, come there first, and then you get a special price. Trust me, not only will the forum be worth it, but also you will also get a special savings for Nehemiah Week this year. So today we're going to talk about the competition. So Nehemiah Week begins August 14th to August 19th. So August 14th, start with our Kingdom Business Tour. Well, you'll get a chance to tour kingdom companies from the very regions of the world. We're going to start with Asian Pacific, then we're going to go into Africa, then we go to Europe, and then we're going to come to Latin America, and then we're going to conclude in North America. You'll get a chance to check out some exceptional kingdom businesses throughout those regions as you discover the regions of the world and learn about those businesses. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have the conference. We have a special guest. Nick will be with us. Nick, now I can never say Nick's last name. So, Wendie, do you know how to say the name? Let me see if I can say
Yes,
it.
I understand. It's Nick V. That's what they say.
That's a
So
good one.
Nick
Let's stick
V.
with that. Nick V will be with us. Nick, he has no arms, no leg, amazing entrepreneur and motivational speaker and evangelist. He'll be with us. But what I'm really excited about for Nehemiah Week this year, we're going to have the OG Marketplace panel and the New Gen Marketplace panel. So on Tuesday, we'll have the OG panel. This OG panel is made up of Michael Pink, Oz Hillman, and many others, marketplace leaders, C12, FCCI. We inviting all of them. We're going to honor them for their pioneering the space. And by the way, Oz has just agreed to do a special 15-minute history of marketplace ministry as the kickoff of the marketplace panel. And then we're going to give awards for these marketplaces. We're going to give them awards. These are pioneers. These are men and women who lay the groundwork for what we're enjoying right now, because our theme this year is called to the marketplace. And we thought if we're going to have that theme, let's go back to history and honor those who have launched and expanded this movement. And then on Wednesday, we'll have the New Gen Marketplace panel. These are individuals who got into the space in the last 20 years. These are men and women as well. And so we're going to showcase those organizations and talk about what does marketplace ministry looks like today going forward. And then on Thursday, powered by Lions Den, we'll have our global forum. Well, you'll get a chance to hear from various kingdom investors. You get from various kingdom entrepreneurs who've gotten capital from us. You're also going to get a chance to hear some pitches, entrepreneurs who are pitching, raising real capital to try to grow, expand their business. And then we'll have Lions then with us as they talk about how do they help entrepreneurs like yourself get more capital. And then on Friday, we'll have our international business plan competition. That is a day that Wendie's client will be competing. You want to check it out. The question becomes this year, will Kenya, for the fourth year in a row, win the international business plan competition? Or will Wendie's client, Tiffany and Jacob, will they be the ones to win the international business plan competition this year, and making that the first time in history that North America has won the international business plan competition? Come check it out. Go right there to the events page, sign up, and join us. Also, we'll conclude on Saturday. On Saturday, we're going to have Nick V again will speak with us, and we're going to get a chance to share with you the impact that Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community is having around the world. You don't want to miss this year's event. Okay, you can miss any year, but not this year, because this year we are being called into the marketplace as royal priests. It's going to be an exciting event. It's just going to be amazing from Monday all the way to Saturday. By the way, all the events will be recorded. So if you can't make one day, it'll be recorded. So you can come to this, you can record them. It's also an opportunity to meet entrepreneurs from all over the world. Wendie, before we get into your talk, the topic today with you, you've been part of Nehemiah Week for several years. Why should people join us this year?
You know, Patrice, I love our theme this year, being called to the marketplace. I think as an entrepreneur, most of us feel called to the business that we have. But today, the way things in the marketplace are going and how it's looking, I think we are needed more than ever. I think Christian entrepreneurs are needed more than ever in the marketplace. And so being able to do that. But, you know, Patrice, part of the problem as an entrepreneur is sometimes you just feel very alone. And coming to this conference links arm, you connect with other entrepreneurs. You understand that your journey is not alone, that there are others who have either paved the way. I love the OG panel that have paved the way before us and done groundbreaking things. There's the new generation, the next gen that are still paving that way. But by coming, we not only get to hear about what they've done, they get to inspire us and encourage us. We get to connect with entrepreneurs from around the globe. I remember the first Nehemiah Week that I was part of, which was way back in 2016. And I loved what we were doing. And I wished I'd had the programs back when I had my businesses. And I just was so, but it wasn't until the International Business Plan Competition when I saw entrepreneurs from Haiti and the Ukraine and Africa, and they were presenting their businesses. And what I really never got is their business isn't any different than mine. They have the same problems that I have, right? They're struggling with the same things that I'm having. I'm thinking, well, somebody from Haiti isn't going to have the same problems that I have, right? And so that was just a real eye-opener. So to come and connect, but to also learn, you walk away with so many nuggets that you can take back and begin really putting into practice with your business.
Oh man, you want to come. This is going to be exciting. Also, I want to give special thanks to our sponsors this year. We have ILCX. ILOX is one of our sponsors this year. Thank you, Edward Fitzpatrick, for being one of our sponsors this year. ILOX, ILOCX, being one of our sponsors this year. Also, we also have Richard Cole. Richard Cole is also one of our sponsors this year. Richard is with American Incentive Advisors. And then we also have our chairwoman, Susan Stram, with Go-to-Market Impact, is also one of our sponsors this year. By the way, there's room for more sponsors when invited. We also have actually Linda and David, James and Linda Hargis, who are also one of our sponsors this year. So if you desire to be a sponsor for Nehemiah Week, just reach out to us. Let us know. We'll showcase your business, give you opportunity to connect with the community as well. So we have a number of sponsors this year, and we thank you, sponsors, for joining us as you walking out this calling into the marketplace. Again, I'm here with Wendie Klem. Wendie is our Director of Operation for the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community, and she had her client is the winner this year for the U.S. Regional Business Plan Competition and is representing North America at the competition this year and hoping to beat Kenya, which is the winningest on its country and the winningest region so far in terms of Africa. So, Wendie, first of all, for our listeners' sake, so what do you do for Nehemiah? Tell us first what you do for Nehemiah before we kind of start there. You're not only a coach, a trainer, but you're also a director of operation. What does that mean? How do you get to do all of that?
By being blessed, Patrice, just by being extremely blessed. My role here at Nehemiah, to put it in kind of simple terms, I take all of the departments and I connect them together. So we work on making sure that our systems and processes are efficient and effective so that we can walk out what we teach. Helping the departments to streamline. I oversee a number of the departments that report to me, but more than that, it's that opportunity to just connect and problem solve. I do a lot of problem solving too, Patrice.
Awesome. So, oftentimes when people hear about an operations director, they have, different people have different perspective how they look at an ops director. And it can be a challenging role, but also a role that can be also fulfilling as well. So for you, when you think about that role, and your essentially that role has, you think about all the roles you've played, how is this different from the roles you've played in the past?
Because it took every role that I played and it brought it all together. It prepared me to be able to walk out this role. Because I've worked in almost every department. I discovered this last week. Publishing is really the only department that I've not physically done any real work in. And so now it's exciting that I'm going to have an opportunity to work with them. But being able to understand how the departments work and how they serve our customers and each other really is what prepared me for exactly this role. It's my desire is to make sure our customer experience is excellent, whether that is the entrepreneur, whether that is the center director, whether that is another department, but the customer experience is in excellence.
I love it. So, Wendie, before you were at Nehemiah, you've been an entrepreneur yourself, done a number of things. Talk a bit about what prepared you for this role at Nehemiah, but also as a trainer coach. Give us a bit about your background.
Sure. So I retired from SunTrust as a senior trainer and trust officer. What I did is I wrote all the training programs and manuals for the trust operations department, and I trained all of the trust officers for the 2 states. I retired to be a stay-at-home mom, and at that time, I launched my second business. I actually launched my first business at 18, but I launched my second business, which was called Tech Writer. And so I wrote training material. I wrote the Teller Manual for SunTrust Miami. I did work for L'Oreal and Salon Centric and a number of them. This was pre-internet, by the way. I'm going to just say that. It, might date me a little bit, but this was pre-internet. And so I did all of their marketing for the stores that they had and different things like that. And over the years, I had a number of businesses. My primary role was being a stay-at-home mom. And then as my kids got older, on a whim, my cousin and I launched a cleaning business. I had that for 12 years until I sold the business. That was probably my largest business when I sold that. I had over 20 employees and about 300 accounts. And, I loved being able to build that. And then after that, when I sold that, I started a marketing company and began working with a nonprofit. And then we started becoming trainers for Nehemiah. And then God said, it's time for you to move. I thought he was joking. I'm like, I didn't think I was employable, Lord, but he called me to move, and he called me to serve at Nehemiah Project. At the time, I didn't really understand what he was asking me, but I can tell you when I took the role as director of operations, I realized exactly what he was doing and how he was preparing me for this role. So when I'm training, I like to talk to people about all the things that go in your basket, right? All the things that you learn, the skills, all of what I've learned went into my basket. And truthfully, I use every piece of it in my role here at Nehemiah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you've been a gift as well. I remember when you first started, you started as the coordinating the Nehemiah Week. I was amazed how efficient you were when you first came in. Up until that time, there was only another person that was good as you. No, well, we had two before you, but at the time you came in, things were not going as efficiently. And you really impressed me with that. You came on as my personal assistant, and went from then. The rest is history. You've played almost every role, as you stated. So you also certified training coach, and you have a number of clients that you work with throughout the year. So tell us about this particular client. So when you first began with this particular client, Jacob and Tiffany, did you have a
So,
sense that they could be winners for the competition?
when I work with the client, my focus is on their business. And so I don't necessarily am looking at them in the aspect of the competition. But when I first met them, we were at an event, and they came up, they were talking with someone else, and they said, you need to talk to Wendie. I know she had a really successful cleaning business. She's a coach. Maybe she can help you. And they came up, and they were asking me some questions, and they had very specific questions about some marketing. And so I gave them a couple of ideas, and the next day they bought our growth package, and they said, I want you to be our coach, because they
And at
actually
that time, and at that time, their business what stage?
they were at startup. They had
Okay.
literally just started the business a couple of months before, but I knew that they were going to be amazing, because the next day when they came back to purchase that package, they took one of the things that I told them and did it when they got home and picked up 2 clients. So I knew at that point that they were going to be the kind of client who really took the information and worked it. And it's been a year and a half.
So and so the business was a cleaning business. They were startup, and for us, startup is active revenue, but pre-break even. And they had how long have they been in business at that point?
At that point, they'd only been in business a couple of months. Both of them actually
Wow.
left corporate jobs
Okay.
to start this business because they
Wow.
wanted to spend more time with their kids, and they really did not like how their corporations were treating their employees. And so they really wanted to build a business and make a change for that.
Wow. So they both jumped in all, and they have kids as well, right? They have how many
They
kids?
do. They have 3, and they
Three.
jumped right in. I mean, they gave up both of their incomes, full-time
Oh my
incomes.
gosh. Now, by the way, not recommended, but that's what they did. I mean, right?
That's right.
We as coaches, we would say no one at a time, but but that's how they came to us. So
Yep.
you began with them, and so of course our objective is to take them to sustainability, right? Which for us we define as a season where they're profitable, and the business being run by system, people people in the right position where they can truly have their freedom. So how long did it take from that moment on? They bought our success package, which is a combination of coaching and training between group individual. So they bought a nice size package. You work with them, so that's a year package. They can renew on an ongoing basis. So how long? By which point did things start turning around for them as you start working with them?
Well, Patrice, these individuals were hungry and they were ready to do the work and they were ready to do whatever it took. So we immediately implemented some systems for them on giving quotes, some systems on quality control and things like that. Within 3 months, they hit break even.
Wow, within 3 months. That's incredible.
Within 3 months, yep.
Wow.
They hit
By
break
implementing
even.
some of the things, some of the insights you kind of were giving them through the coaching process. I remember they were in my group coaching program, and I mean they were dynamos, but then they were young, they were virgins, right?
They were.
You could tell. I remember their first presentations that it was okay, but it wasn't over the top. So
Yep.
then they went on to then win the class competition.
They did. Patrice, one of the things that was really important also is when they understood who each of them were, when they understood kind of their lane within the business. Our identity and destiny helped with that, as well as the beginning of biblical entrepreneurship. They really got to understand what Jacob's strengths were and what Tiffany's strengths were. And they began to focus themselves in that. Instead of Tiffany trying to do things that really Jacob should be in charge of, they were able to see a much different path. And when they began to walk that out, it really changed. And it changed their relationship as well, because there wasn't that friction. They understood each other's strengths and weaknesses and knew how to fill in for the weaknesses. So that's what they really started to do too.
I love it. So they won the class competition, and then now they had to go for the center competition. Now you had the center competition, you had two people who were both clients of yours. You had one that was at discovery, and then one at startup. And I tell you, I was at the competition. It was incredibly amazing. They won that. Right. And then they went to the US competition. Now that one, they had to compete with somebody from another center, the Orlando center. At that point, were you kind of nervous, or were you confident?
Well, I knew no matter what, they were winners. These people, they were winners, and they knew that too. But, as far as the competition goes, of course, Orlando Center is an amazing center. They've got amazing trainers and coaches there. And I knew that they've been working hard with their entrepreneurs. He did a good job. And so, again, I'm glad I wasn't a judge. So, but yeah, no, it would have been a tough call. I was concerned it would be a tough call.
Wow, I love it. And so they end up winning that. What's amazing about them, every time they won, they were surprised themselves. They were not, though they're confident, they weren't expecting to win all these competitions.
No,
so
they were
as a
not.
coach, obviously people don't join our training and coaching program for the competition. That's just kind of like the gravy on top. But what impact does it have on the client as they start winning these competitions? What impact? First of all, what impact does the competition itself have on a client whilst somebody participate? Then secondly, those who win, what impact does it have on them?
Patrice, what I've seen with Jacob and Tiffany and in previous years when other competitors go through, when they begin going through these competitions, I see their confidence level begin to rise, especially when you're working with a solopreneur or someone who's, just starting out their first business. They're nervous, they're not sure of themselves, but as they go through these competitions and they are able to articulate their business in 10 minutes, they're able to answer questions from amazing judges. I've watched Tiffany and Jacob grow in their confidence. And then at each competition, we've been able to take the questions that were asked, we were able to take the responses and say, okay, not only how do you make your presentation better, but how do you take that and can we improve the business with what they're asking as well? And so I've watched their confidence rise, and you can tell from their group coaching their first presentation to their last presentation. And I have no doubt the one they do at the International Business Plan is going to be better than all of them.
Because part of it, they get more and more polished, they get more and more confident. Winning feeds confidence, and so on and so on. Now the international. Again, I'm talking to Wendie Klem, the Director of Operation for the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community. She is also a business coach and trainer. Her client is the winner this year for the North America competition, regional competition, and will be competing at the international competition. And their goal is to be the winningest coach, or the winningest center, or the winningest country, which is Kenya. So, Wendie, as they prepare to go into this competition, how confident do you feel that you can take the trophy this year from Kenya?
Well, Patrice, they have prepared. They have done everything that they can, and they have prepared. I think the proof is in the pudding, as they say, because their business, they've got a 3-month waiting list for clients to come on board. They've put the work in, and it's really amazing. After the last competition, one of the things that we've been working towards is them growing the commercial side. They've only been doing residential. And in that time, Jacob had already gone out, reached out to 30 businesses, spoke to 23 of them, and was working on giving some proposals. So again, at the end of the day, they are prepared and they are the real deal. And I think that that's going to show up in the competition. Do I think they're going to win? I would love to see the Northwest Center bring home the champion. I would love to see that trophy there, and have Jacob and Tiffany do that, because I also know that it's giving them that confidence to do and make a difference.
Wow, I love it. This is incredible. As I'm talking to Wendie Klem, we're talking about the International Business Plan Competition. If you're not yet registered, go right now to Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community.com or NehemiahECommunity.com and sign up. And sign up not only for the international competition, but sign up for Nehemiah Week in general. We're going to start on Monday, August 14th, with a Kingdom Business Tour that would take you around the world, from from Asia to Africa to Europe, all the way. And Eastern Europe is representing Europe this year, which is Bulgaria, I think, is the winner this year. We'll go then to Latin America, and we're going to conclude at North America. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll have the conference. Part of that conference, we're going to feature the OG panel as well as the new generation panel of marketplace leaders. That's going to be an interesting, fun discussion as we talk to these leaders who have pioneered this space and this industry. And we'll look at the history. Oz Hillman is going to be with us, talking about the history of marketplace ministry and where we're heading with this space. We're going to present some Pioneer Award this year to some of the marketplace ministries who have pioneered the space. And then on Thursday, we'll deal with the Investors Forum, powered by Lions Den. You're going to see actual entrepreneurs looking to raise capital from investors. We're also going to introduce a new form of a fundraising platform called ILOX. So you want to join us, or ILOX, how to raise money through licensing. So you want to join us and learn about that. And then, of course, on Friday, we are going to have the International Business Competition. That is a day that Tiffany and Jacob will compete. And the question there will be, will they be able to win the trophy this year? Will it be U.S. representing North America? Will it be Bulgaria representing Europe? Will it be Mexico representing Latin America? Or will it be Kenya representing Africa? Who will be the 2023 International Business Plan Competition champion? Sign up and join us. And then on Saturday, we're going to conclude with, again, Nick V. Again, he'll be with us on Wednesday and on Saturday. And on that day, we're going to showcase the impact that Nehemiah is having around the world. It's going to be an amazing week. Sign up right now and join us. If you want to get some special pricing, sign up for the Global Forum. And then at the Global Forum next week, we're going to have some special pricing so you can take advantage of it. Go to Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community or Nehemiah E-Community and go to our events page and sign up. Wendie, so as you think about your journey as a trainer and coach, what brings you greatest joy as a trainer and coach?
Seeing the clients reach their goals. That's the thing that gives me the greatest joy. Whatever that goal is, to see them reach that. I love working with clients who have a heart to impact the marketplace, and then they go out and do it, right? They go out and they put forth the effort, even when it's tough, and they stay true to what God's called them. And I love working with clients like that. But part of what, if I'm going to be selfish for a moment about why I love coaching, is I remember what it was like to be them. And I remember what it was like not to have a trusted advisor who had my best interest at heart and was able to bring the support and the tools that I needed. I remember what that was like. And I know that God let me go through that journey so that I would be prepared to be here and serve them. But selfishly, it gives me great joy to know that they weren't struggling like I had to struggle. And so I enjoyed doing that.
That is awesome. Wendie, if somebody's watching and listening, they're saying, hey, I would like for her to be my coach. Are you taking on any more clients? Because somebody reach out to you?
I do have a few slots open to take on some clients, and I would love to be able to serve them.
So let's put Wendie's contact up there. Here's the Calendly. You can just you can go to Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community or NehemiahEcommunity.com. From there, you can find Wendie. You can just go to the team page. You can find Wendie and connect with her so that she might be able to help you. Who knows? Maybe be the 2024 champion, right?
Love it.
Who knows? Wendie, don't leave yet, because before you leave, I do want you to give advice to our folks. We're going to have you give some free coaching advice to those who are watching and listening. Listen, guys, don't leave yet, because Wendie is going to give us some great coaching advice before you leave. So you don't want to miss that one. If you've enjoyed this podcast, though, I want you to share it. All right. Share it with your friends, share on your social media platform, share with others, because you know somebody who, like Wendie, is desiring to journey into their God-given sweet spot, or like her client, has a startup business and they want to grow it. This may encourage and inspire them. You know somebody who you believe should be a Nehemiah Week. Share this with them and say, hey, check out this event and I'll join you there. We'll go together. Maybe you'll sponsor them. Maybe you invest in them. You know, I'm thinking about one of our members, I think Allison, actually, Wilkinson. Her father-in-law invested in her, sponsored a Nehemiah Week 2 or 3 years ago. Today, she has a thriving business, right? And she's been able, so maybe it is you investing in somebody else, all right? You want to make sure you do that. Also, follow us. Follow us on Facebook, like our page, follow us on YouTube. And by the way, you can download this podcast on your podcast, platform, on whatever phones you've got. If you've got iPhone, your podcast thing there. If you got what's the other one? Android. So all Android, you can download so you can have us right on your phone. That way, when we have a new podcast up, you got it. You can catch it right here. All right. So you want to be engaged and in tune so that you can be a part of this journey. Now, if you want to know how we can come alongside you and help you with your business, whether it's providing you with training, coaching, access to finance, or community, visit our website, NehemiahEcommunity.com. NehemiahEcommunity.com. There you'll learn about our training program, right? You'll learn about what is biblical entrepreneurship, identity and destiny, right? Passive income classes, or you learn about our coaching program, whether it's small group coaching, one-on-one coaching. You'll learn about our access to capital program, whether it's the Investors Forum or just connected with other investors. You'll also learn about our community, how you can be a part of this growing community of entrepreneurs from Asia to Africa, from Europe to Latin America and North America, so that we together can work to build kingdom companies. Membership does have its privileges, so join us and be a part. Again, join us in Nehemiah Week. You're going to see Wendie there. I'm going to be there. Tiffany and Jacob is going to be there. Come and support them. There's going to be the not only do judges get to pick a winner, but also the people's choice get to pick a winner. So come, if you are in North America, come and support Jacob and Tiffany, because your vote will help them win an additional $1,000 on top of the cash prize. If you're from Africa, come and support the African competitor. If you're from Europe, come and support the European competitor. If you are from Latin America or South America, come and support the Latin America South American competitor, so that your vote can count. While you're there, you may even enjoy somebody else better. All right, join us and be a part. Sign up for the Nehemiah Week today. Wendie, before we leave, so there are many entrepreneurs who are watching and listening from all over the world, and they're kind of wondering, what was the key? What has been the key to the success of Tiffany and Jacob? What advice would you give them? What are 2 to 3 things you can tell them? Say, hey, based on me working with Tiffany and Jacob, here are some things that they did that I can advise you to do, so that you can experience the kind of business success they're experiencing, and or the kind of success they're experiencing with the competition. What advice would you give our people today?
Well, Patrice, I love working with those who are startup and break even. That's where my passion is. And one of the things that has made a big difference for them, and a piece of advice that I would share, is put your systems in place from the beginning. Get your procedures and policies written from the beginning, because they did that, a year and a half later, they're not having to try and go in, put them in place while they're trying to hire and expand and serve clients and doing everything else. They put them in place first. I was meeting with another client this week, and it was the same thing. I told him, you need to stop and do it now, even when you don't necessarily think, because you're just starting, you don't need them. Because one of the benefits is when you hire someone and you have policies and procedures done, you can hand them to the new volunteer person and say, read this and get started. It makes hiring much, much easier and being able to deliver consistent results. So that's the first thing, is always start as you mean to go. When I launched the cleaning business with my cousin, it was my cousin and I, we just wanted to make enough money to send the kids to camp over the summer. It wasn't a big thing, right? It wasn't actually a business that I thought I would grow. But the first thing I did is I wrote an employee handbook. Okay, it was my cousin and I wrote an employee handbook with all of the regulations. Now I realized that saved us so much as we grew. So that's number 1. Number 2, know your numbers. You've got to know your numbers. You have to know what the cost of goods are. You have to know what your overhead is. Every decision needs to be based on the numbers. If you're going to do marketing, what are the results? What are the numbers of those results? Don't make decisions based on how you feel or what you think. Because one of the first things we did was we took a look at their numbers, and they realized that they immediately needed to alter some of their pricing. And they immediately did that. It's one of the reasons they hit break even in 3 months. And so those are 2 things. You've got to get your processes in place from the very beginning. Know your numbers. All of my clients will tell you that's the first thing I ask them. Know your numbers. Because there's no point in selling a product when you don't make enough profit to stay in business.
Wow, guys, you heard it. Those are good advice, and that's free as well. Oh man, I want to give a special thank to our sponsors for Nehemiah Week. I want to thank Go to Market Impact, I want to thank ILOX. I also want to thank American Christian Advisors. I want to thank American Incentive Advisors. By the way, guys, if you go to our website, to the Nehemiah e-community, the Nehemiah Week web page, you will see the sponsors there, and from there you can connect with them. Thank you so much for supporting, and Jim and Linda Hargis as well. Thank you for supporting Nehemiah Week this year. If you want to be a sponsor, we welcome you. Just reach out to us, and we'll work with you to make this event special this year. Wendie, can keep up the good work. We believe in God that next year you will have even a greater year, right? And by the way, wish you the best at the international competition. We're going to be watching. We want you, of course, I'm a little bit biased this year. You're from my center, and so if you win, that means that the Northwest Center is winning. So right now, I'm liking you as a center director, right?
I understand.
I like winning coaches. So thank you so much for that, and wish you all the best.
Since I've been with Nehemiah, with the Nehemiah Week since 2016, U.S. hasn't brought home the trophy. Now, I understand they may have in the past, but I think this is time to bring home the trophy.
It's time. We are still the leader of the free world, for God's sake. So we got to show it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Well, guys, let me pray for you as we close here. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care, and to steward them in such a way that one day you'll hear those wonderful words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Guess what? He'll now make you rule over much." God bless you. Have a great day and a wonderful week.
Amen.